Welcome to this beautiful episode on At the Crossroad with Mathematics. I've had lots of people ask me the question on why did I study mathematics in the university? How was it like studying maths in the university and all of that. So I'm going to tell you about my journey through university and how I became a mathematician. Firstly, in 2009, I was enrolled into the pre-science studies, which is a pre-degree of the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, and there I had an option of studying 5 subjects and then to write 4 in the exam. And I wrote maths, I wrote chemistry, I wrote physics, I wrote biology, and I wrote geography. While leaving secondary school, I graduated as the best for geography. I loved chemistry. I had represented my school one time in chemistry. I loved physics. I loved English. I loved maths. I just loved all my subjects. So although I was saying I wanted to be a medical doctor, and I knew it was a result of what people told me and what the society portrays being a medical doctor as. So I always wanted to be a medical doctor according to all of those things. So when I wrote that particular exam, I had the highest score. Of all my 5 scores, the score I had in maths was the highest. So it got me thinking, because I said maths is one subject I do with ease. Yeah, when it comes to biology, I really don't, it's not something I had so much passion for. And if I wanted to be a medical doctor, that's a subject I can't run away from. That is medical science. But I know I didn't like all those diagram drawing. I didn't like the whole, I need to know how to label this part. I didn't like the whole, don't miss a word in your spelling, because it was part of the exam, part of the things they checked in the exam. So I didn't really like biology that much, but I loved physics, I loved chemistry, but I knew there was something about maths. And that was what led me to saying I would study maths in university. So by the time it was time to choose a course, I chose mathematics. So I got into my first year. First of all, I thought maths was all about calculating, just that's what a lot of people still think. They just feel, okay, you're studying maths, you're just calculating using a calculator. So I actually bought a very nice calculator. So in my first year, that was the only time I used calculator, because that was when we had some courses that needed calculations, to some extent. And then by my second year, we're doing analytical courses. We're doing courses that you had to look at theorems, concepts, you have to prove. But for me, that was something else. I said, I didn't know maths was like this. It wasn't like it was difficult. It was challenging. It was something that needed lots of attention. It was something that needed commitment. So if you want to do well as a math student, you have to give it attention, you have to be committed, you have to concentrate. It's not like, it's just the way to go forward in your math studies, and you have to love your math teachers. For me that's key. I always told myself that maths is already looking difficult, so why make it more difficult for yourself by hating a teacher? So I never hated any of my math teachers. In fact, all my math teachers, my math lecturers, they were my best friends while in school. It was really beautiful, and I still love them till today. I still keep in contact with them. It's really beautiful. By my 3rd year, the whole process, I've had moments when I thought about dropping out of school sincerely, especially when about 2 classmates dropped after some way in the first year. 2 others dropped at the final year. You will see people who were like, man, this is difficult. I had moments when I felt, wow, it was like I was going crazy, because I wanted to be the best in my class. I wanted wanted to graduate as the best. I wanted to graduate with the first class in mathematics. It was something I desired at some point. So if you want to be the best, you have to put in more effort. You have to know that there's no room for assumptions that, okay, I'm doing better than this person. No, you're in a class of your own. You just have to be the best. You always have to gain the top points. You always have to know the courses to the extent that they're at your fingertips. So by my final year, I think that was the moment I really contemplated dropping out of school. I sat down in my room one day and I looked at the many courses I needed to study. I looked at the projects I needed to work on. Then I had, in one of the courses I borrowed, operations research, I was given a project inside the course. And I was like, seriously, a full project in just one course. It was something I had to think. I said to myself, oh my God, how? I wanted to drop out. Sincerely speaking, it was like I was going crazy. Then I said to myself, if I drop out of maths, what about all the people I have been encouraging? Because there were so many people at different points, they gave up and they wanted to drop out of school. So I said, what happened to those people I've been encouraging? How do I look myself in the mirror and say, hey, you were defeated finally? So I told myself, I will continue. I will. A lot of people didn't know I contemplated dropping out of school because I was like the best in my class at that point. One of the guy, Joshua, were always tops. So people wouldn't believe that someone who was doing very well would actually contemplate dropping out of school. Yeah, I did, because I looked at the amount of work I needed to put in. It was like, wow, what? I was almost giving up, but I was persistent. I was determined. I told myself, okay, I'm already at the last lap. I just have to continue. I just have to keep pushing. I just have to put in a little bit of more effort. I need to put in more effort for the last lap. And it was remarkable. And I wrote my final year exams. In fact, after writing my final year exams, we had, there was an issue of strike in my school. So after we wrote some exams, August 2013, by January 2014, we were called back to school to rewrite all the exams. Oh my goodness. Imagine you haven't studied. I told myself that after school, I was going to relax a little bit and have some fun. So after my exams in August, I just got some movies. I was just relaxing. I was not studying. Of course, why will you study when you think you've graduated? So by January, we were called back to write the exam, and it was under short notice, like 3 days notice. Like, we were told on a Friday morning that there's a timetable out now and your exams start on Monday. So my classmates that were in different parts of the country, they had to start coming back. For me, that was one point that I would say, I told myself, okay, you know what? I just want to graduate and leave with the degree. The class of degree it is. And the exams came and we wrote the exams. I studied, and for me, that was a point that I got to understand the human brain a little bit more. I thought that it was over almost 6 months, and then I had forgotten everything I studied, even towards my final year exam. So by the time I took my books to study, I found that I kept remembering. Like, when I bring out the books, I would just see that I had an retentive memory. I remember those things I studied a long time ago. So it really helped me. And I felt more confident. I said, wow. So there were some people who said, man, this exam is under short notice. I'll retake it the next year. Some people did that. But I told myself, I'm just going to take this exam now. And I did. It was phenomenal. At the end of the day, when I saw my result, I had just 2 B's. The rest were A's. I was so excited. And then, even when I had given up, that okay, maybe I won't graduate as the best student from the department, okay, just maybe I won't graduate in the first class, well, whatever. I was just ready because I had given up. But when the results came out, I was amazed. I was really, really amazed, and I just found myself crying. I was like, oh my god, like finally I made it. There was this deep sense of fulfillment and joy inside of me. I was just so excited, and I am still very much excited. For me, that's one part of my life I can really say I did well and I conquered, and something I look back and I'm excited. I put in all those energy. I'm excited. I put in all those efforts. I'm excited that I gave myself I was committed to my academics. And I want to say this to every young person in school: be committed to your academics. Give your entire time. I always used to tell myself something, that the semester is not so long. There's always going to be a holiday period. Whatever I would have done that would have been a distraction to me during the semester, I can do them during the holiday. So I always watched movies during the holiday. I always slept during the holidays. I always ate all those plenty food during the holidays. So when it's time for school, I watch myself. I'm under close watch. I hardly had some entertaining stuff. I wasn't really hanging out. I never skipped my classes. When I mean never, in fact, there was a day I wasn't feeling so good. I was in school half day and I went back. The next lecturer that came in said, "Where's Cynthia?" And everybody was like, "She was here, she left." Said, "Cynthia has never missed a class. She has never missed my class, so I need to talk to her on the phone." It was something that all my lecturers can attest to. I never missed my classes for one day. And the good thing about being in a class while a particular topic or subject is being taught is that you receive a first-hand information from the teacher, first-hand explanation. It is a time whereby you can ask questions on some points that are not clear before you go back to study. Now, if you skip the lectures and you go back to study, you have some challenges, definitely, because you missed like the foundation and the background. But if you were there during the lectures, you would have learnt some things, you'd have taken notes of some key points, you'd have had some explanations. By the time you go back to study, you find out that there's just little or nothing to do, because you have, in fact, as a matter of fact, if you sat in class and you paid rapt attention to the lecturer or the teacher teaching you, when you go back to study, you find out that there's little or nothing for you to do. So it's always good as a student to be in classes on time. It's always good not to skip classes. It's always good to give your entire attention to the teacher teaching, to the semester, to your subjects, to your courses. Don't be distracted. I had friends while on campus. I had lots of friends while on campus, but I always drew the line because I knew that I have to gain good education. I was committed to that, and basically that's my journey through maths. And today I am a mathematician because I have a first degree in mathematics, and for me that's something really lovely. So thank you so much for watching today's episode, and I'll leave you now. Bye.